I think Tinubu is an expert in playing dark politics right from the beginning. He ever came to political limelight. I will must give it to him. If not that, we know the margin of which he won that election. I claim to have been won by P2B. The margin is very slim. And it came as a result of the pressure that came from the APC governors as at that time to persuade the former president, Buhari, to endorse Tinubu, because Buhari's body language was not to give it to Tinubu as it were as at that time. But the APC northern governors went on their knees and pleaded, and that was what actually happened. If not, I don't think we should be talking about Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his foreign policies currently now. But look at it from another perspective. There's a problem now between the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is a Southerner, and his vice president, Shetima, who is a Northerner. Now, if you look at it very well, the picture is that Shetima is being relegated by Tinubu Lagos forces in the Aso Rock, and which has triggered that Shetima to begin to romance deeply with core northern political power players. He was the one that led Buhari from Daura to Kaduna, where Buhari is stationed now. There's a reason why Buhari is stationed in Kaduna, because the suspicion that APC bloc that form APC is definitely going to pull out at the end of the day. There's also so many other blocks that's within the APC, that's of northern bloc and an alliance and merger or coalition, whatever, that gave birth to APC. But Tinubu having assessed that clearly, and even though he was being brought by the northerners, the northerners have seen that the possibility of Tinubu dismantling the northern structure, sending a wrong signal to the middle belt against the core north, so the guy is playing a very dangerous dark politics at this point. So it becomes very clearly that the signs on the wall is signaling that Nigeria is going to enter an era of deep somersault, crashing as a nation, possibly, and the system is going to erupt that will lead to that, possibly from north. You can see the intensity of killing, majorly in middle belt axis down to some part of the eastern part of the country. So looking at that, there might be an intelligence report, even though Tinubu has mandated the Nuhu Ribadu and the rest of them. He cannot be rest assured that those people are at his back to carry out, to make sure that this killing stops. It has been there always. But the main thing is that looking at the governor himself of Delta State, who has spearheaded mass defection, the gale of defection to APC and the powers that be. Unfortunately, with that ideology, that the Nigerian politicians, that's what they are. Somebody that was a vice president or in the last election under Atiku was the one who is seen moving to APC. And there's another big man behind the scene who shared the same political space and a colleague of the present president of Nigeria, talking about James Ibori, who structures was reactivated by immediately Tinubu came to power, because they were all former colleagues. The same politics Ojokali is trying to play in Abia State is what has triggered that. And the threat of corruption charges and here and there over this, because once you move to APC, your sins has been forgiven. So now, but the people themselves of Delta State are not in support of that movement. But Tinubu is playing politics of money. The governors have more allocations now than ever in any history of Nigeria's leadership under democratic setting, where the governors have experienced huge amount of allocation. So with this threat, let me put it that way, or signal coming from the entire southern bloc that Tinubu has finally swallowed the southern bloc, standing firm against the north. The north is already seeing this, that the possibility that if they reject Tinubu finally, that it might lead to breakup of Nigeria. And the signals are there. Some analysts have put it in that direction, because the rising, the uprising, the gang up from the north might result to violent or chaos against any southern interest within the political space, and that might engineer, the final collapse of Nigeria. And the North are saying they are ready. If Nigeria can collapse, they are ready. After all,
are you sure they are ready? With what's on ground, are you sure the North?
Of course, you can see one of the special advisors to Tinubu, who served under Buhari, who just resigned from Tinubu's government. I think something Ahmed or whatever, who happens to be the secretary of Northern Forum Area Consultative Forum, who made it very clearly, that the North is going to decide on the direction that we want to go at the end of the day. But whatever happens, what if tomorrow we wake up, we see all the entire Northern governors of 19 states moving back to CPC? What will happen to APC? So that's why people are saying that the man is playing a very dangerous, dark politics, that that can lead to collusion, and they can trigger political unrest in the country, because the North will say, we brought you and you are sending this kind of signal to the entire North. And remember also that Tinubu might likely have his way at the end of the day, because it is clear that Atiku is having an ambition, and the power cannot return back to the North. That's the truth. That's not how the power will go back to the
South.
It is.
So, but the North are insisting that they want to come back to power. What do you think will happen?
They're not coming back to power. Does not justify or the rationale behind justice, one Nigeria, the way it's supposed to be, because we just had 8 years of Buhari, uninterrupted. So the balance is that the South should also enjoy whatever. But since they left power, you can see the kind of condemnation that is coming, even from Buhari's men who just left office, and saying that the globalization agenda has already taken place in Aso Rock. The lopsided appointment, that has flooded Yorubas every corner, and at the same time now, the only PDP region, is moving massively to APC, signaling that the old PDP is in the hands of Wike. Why the new PDP that was saw under former Senate President Bukola Saraki is in the hands of Atiku Abubakar. So how are they going to balance that? I made it very clearly that competing ambition will lead to maximum disintegration of political parties in Nigeria, and that maximum disintegration will also echo the prophetic words of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu of how Nigeria is going to possibly break up. And already people have already seen Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the last president of Nigeria as it stands today. So the way it is, like what Gani Adams is saying, the major players now, I pray it didn't get to the side of Abia State, where Alex Oti is the governor of that state. But I can tell you, most of these governors we are seeing now, I tell you, go and check their source. Most of them are being installed there by the Fulanis. Among the 19 states in the north, currently now, there's no Hausa man that is a governor. All of them are Fulanis. And the Fulanis are just 16 million people in the north there as their region, while the Hausas themselves are about 66 million. You can see the difference, So, and the north is also capitalizing on their voting strength. With small alliance in the south can remove Tinubu from office at the end of the day. That's just the truth. So whatever dangerous angle he's taking, we saw the governor of Akwa Ibom talking about definitely there's no going back. We are going to see Peter Mba of Enugu State, the worst governor, if I might say, in terms of not being bold enough. We are not seeing that boldness in him to challenge the Fulani killing in Enugu State. Unfortunately, that's what it is. And some other governors too, but I do not see, the only governor that I'm seeing there that might likely stand his ground, irrespective of whatever happens, is the governor of Bayelsa State. And of course, Alex Oti will not be alone at that range. So the North is also looking at this thing. For me, I felt that it should have been an underground work are prepared, waiting for the right time to manifest. It is too early to start threatening the North and showing signal of what it intends to do ahead of 2027 election. I'm talking about Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Okay, but do you not think from the as regards the southern governors defecting to APC, do you not think they are doing for their selfish interest?
Oh, of course, I told you there's a reason why they are having more allocations now than any other administration in the history of Nigeria. Governors are happy because Tinubu put more money on the table for them than any other administration. So they have it. So they want to enjoy more. They want to have more. But it's a trap. Bola Ahmed Tinubu has set for them, that might trigger a one-party system in Nigeria that might be a threat to democracy, and that is where the breakup is going to come at the end of the day, because the North will see it as as a loss of principles, as a loss of agreement, as a sign, as a signal to them, as a slap to the North themselves, to begin to think towards the direction of, it has gone to the point that the president's body language is signaling that breakup of the entity called Nigeria. So apart from their selfish interest, of course, that's what it has been always when you talk about Nigerian politics. There's no Nigerian politics that has not been in that direction. But that the Igbo political culture, as it is now, that's built around the old Eastern region, is being infiltrated by this thing in another angle. So what we are seeing is another direction of the Fulanization by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because by the time the Fulanis are able to put together all the governors they installed there, of course they will flood in Fulani machineries in the entire old Eastern region, and the killing will continue. Unfortunately, these are the things they are not seeing. These are the things they are not able to understand. That for them to be caged by, because you do not know the certain agreement and the certain politics they are playing behind the curtain that made them to produce Muslim ticket, and have seen that the issue of Fulanis in the south has not stopped. You can see what Gani Adams said, that I don't know why these governors have not been able to stand up against these Fulanis up to this moment, signaling that the structure of leadership can only be given to those who are loyal to the Fulani agenda, who are loyal to the Islamization, because you'll be told on what to do, you'll be told on what to achieve, you'll be told as a governor the direction, because without you agreeing, no deal. And when the time comes for you, you expect to abide by the agreement. If not, they will just instigate one EFCC matter, and you are gone, and you are removed. Look at what is happening. Look at how they are able to tailor Fubara of River State to the point of having an audience, and we don't know what is going to happen at the end of the day, whether Timi Fubara at the end of the day is going to join, of course, APC at the end of the day. But that will create another lacuna among the militant group who have already aligned with the structures of reality in River State. But unfortunately, anything can happen because Nigerian politics is played in the dark.
Very, very good. Whenever Mazen Nnamdi Kanu speaks, he speaks with facts. And when you look at it, you will see reasons and meanings in what he's saying. He remained the only one that was so all that he has said have come to pass in this country. Yeah, the US should help us. Those Interpols or whatsoever FBI they call themselves and CIA. You understand, they should wake up and help if actually they want to help nations like Biafra or nations like Nigeria. They should look into this thing. There's one man that bitterly, crying, a US, a white man, complaining bitterly about what is going on in the Southeast. You understand? Because in the Southeast now, the Igbos, the Biafra, they have killed 20,300. And they have burned down 19,000 churches. And they have destroyed 3,000 schools meant for Christians in the whole Southeast. You understand? So one man was crying. I believe that is one of the reasons why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, through his lawyer, now send this strong message to US and the EU. They should thoroughly investigate. Look at the confession of who opposed them. Who opposed them are coming out and saying that those atrocities going on in the Southeast, which they are claiming and saying, accusing the IPOB of doing it, that actually it was not IPOB that was doing it. Then who are the people doing it? Because initially you were doing what? Supporting those people and, laying false allegation against your own people. Now you are coming to make this kind of confession. Definitely there is something fishy. Nigeria, that is, Trump should help us with his ability and capability. EU should support it too. Let them fish out all these criminals. See, political criminals, political dogs, political powers, positions that are using the public fund to fund terrorism in Nigeria, especially in that southeast, based particularly on what Soludo and Hope Uzodinma have said. Do you understand? Soludo said that even when Mazen Nandekano said that they should free him in 2 days, there will be peace. And Soludo stood up and said that free Mazen Nandekano will not even bring peace, as in insecurity will not stop. Now, check that statement. That means there is a politician, incumbent politician that is in power, that is sponsoring those activities. Are you hearing me? So, secondary, listen to what Hope Uzodinma now. Then the people doing those things are not the Igbos, are not the IPOB. They are not the people, indigenous people of Biafra. Then who are they?
So why is it that he's scared or he's scared to name the people that are perpetrating this evil act in the southeast?
And that is the question. That is the area I am pointing at. There is something. But Hope Uzodinma doesn't want to, declare open. There is something fishy. He doesn't want, no, yes, actually, he doesn't want to offend food, and he's probably might be scared of his life. And two, him too is not safe. He has served master and served master to the point he could no longer continue to serve master. He's getting tired of serving his master. He's now serving under frustration. So he has to come out, and if that is the way, Baba, let's just air the truth once. Anything that will happen, let it happen, because I am tired. I can't continue living the life of, lie. Remember, there was a former aide to Mr. President who honorably resigned because he doesn't want to continue lying.
Yeah,
Angrily. He doesn't want to continue telling lies. So he decided to give a humble honor to himself by resigning. Do you understand?
So Uzodinma resigned?
Uzodinma, with the way he is sounding as one that is ready to resign from his master's control. He wants to quit because he's getting fed up. For how long? For how long? That is the thing. That is the fact. For how long will I continue? So it is the high time that I quit, but not directly, but indirectly. So, Hope Uzodinma, I believe in the next confession, he will now tell us the people that are behind those things.
Okay, but during this thing, do you think they should investigate Buhari? As regards this terrorism charge that his lawyer is talking about, do you think that
yes, I may say they should investigate Buhari, and his government. Yeah, the people that work with Buhari and Buhari himself. But notwithstanding, I still have a point. Another point. A state whereby Buhari is on the run now. You understand? That means it's no longer Buhari. If Buhari could be on the run, the one you call Buhari, if he could be on the run today, that means...
On the run to where? To Nigeria or where?
Baba, Buhari is no longer... He came from Katsina. Buhari is from Katsina. Buhari don't run away, come on. Quit. He don't quit Katsina now. He's now in Kaduna.
Kaduna?
Yes. The bandits are pursuing him in Katsina. He ran to Kaduna. That means there is something. So America should do more. They should dig deep. There is more about what Mazen Nandekano have been saying. He said that Buhari is dead. That this one is, the other Jubilee, he said that one don't work out travel. This one is another Jubilee. And remember, this is the Jubilee, the one that we and I know that returned from London, and his hand could not open his door. They are now repatriating him back to London to revisit, to fix the hand again. So that he can. Of course, it trended now. Have you forgotten? It trended. It's not a news that I'm just formulating. It's a news that everybody know. Maybe you have forgotten. So all these things, looking at it based on all these points, you will know that there is something actually fishing in this country that is abnormal. Very, very abnormal. That don't supposed to solve in this country. But our elders, so-called leaders, are doing what? Are sitting on the fence, covering bad things, supporting bad things. And that is why it's affecting Nigeria so badly. So badly. And so bad. So America should please fish them out. Let it not fish them out. Let it not be only drugs. Coming 2nd of May, you know, let it not be only drug case. Let there be in terrorism case too. Terrorism case, sponsors of terrorism case. I'm not saying that Tinubu sponsored terrorism. I didn't say so. You understand? His case is for drugs. But there are other terrorism cases, you know, that many politicians in Nigeria are involved.
We've seen Saudi Arabia bring out names, even when Buhari was in power, of people that are causing this, sponsoring this terrorism. But he didn't say anything then.
Yes, there. Who did not say anything?
Buhari didn't say anything.
Buhari cannot say anything. Yeah, he cannot say anything because those ones want to sanitize their country. But Buhari doesn't want to sanitize Nigeria. And that is why they still have people that they are still manipulating, even not to this very date. Hope most of them is a living within us. He understands what I'm saying better. And when I talk about manipulation, with his statement, you know, you can see the fact that it's under serious manipulation. Under control. What most of them is under serious manipulation, under the influence of the Fulani's control. So the colonial masters are still in charge of him. So, and that is why he's speaking, he's not speaking openly, he's speaking in parables. But we understand where he's going. Maybe in the second part, you know, this is the phase 1. In this phase 2, that's going to be the part 2 of it. Everybody prepare to hear that, prepare to watch the part 2 of Hope Uzodinma confession, because in part 2, it may probably give you and I the real details of the people behind the killing in the whole Southeast.
But Uzodinma has come and say, he said, you know, the army should come to the aid of the Imo indigenes. And at the same time, he has submitted a report to Tinubu as regards insecurity. Do you think that Tinubu can even solve it?
Tinubu have not even solved himself, not to talk of solving. Excuse me. See, Tinubu don't get himself. He don't get himself. The heat of 2027 is telling on him. You understand? So Tinubu don't get it. And then you that is reporting or writing letter, submitting a letter to Mr. President, that the military should come and help you. The military you called before that are killing your people, that turn against your people. Of which you now, the people you come back and say not to IPO that is killing. Is it not the military? Who are the military? Is it not Boko Haram? No, tell me, can you differentiate Boko Haram from Nigerian military? Can you differentiate terrorists from Nigerian police? Because all these people, they are the one, because you will tell me that this one don't repent. About the 100 they caught in Lagos the other day. Where are they? Do you hear anything about them? 100 Boko Haram. They say they are repented. There is one that they released from jail. They say that one have repented and they include him in army. When he carry gun reach Southeast, what do you expect him to do? It's a privilege for him, you know, to achieve his dream by buying the people over there. And that's just it. So there is no difference between Boko Haram and Nigerian military. If you go to other countries, do you know what they do? Such people can never be included in their military. You get it? Such people, a prisoner,
a
former bandit can never be, you know, he must face a whole terrorist can never be included in that kind of uniform. Do you know the worth of being a military? And you see the incompetence in Nigeria. Somebody is calling general, captain, commander. Before you become a commander, do you know what it means to be a commander? To be captain, to be general, or commander-in-chief? Do you know what it means to command battalion? To command army, military? Do you know that when they made mention of battalion, you are talking about 50 men? That is battalion. They are not more than 50. But that is the military slang. You know, when you made mention of battalion, it appears as if the whole Lagos or the whole Nigeria. No, it's just 15 number. But for you to command them in America, you must, or you might have faced different series of war. You might have, engaged in a very series of issues, that will emerge you as a champion before you could qualify as captain, general, commander, whatsoever, chief of them. But in Nigeria here, it's not like that, and that is why you see what is happening, because they are not fit, and they are not qualified, and they are not even being given by merit. But who know man and tribe, whether they are competent or not, Nigeria doesn't care. You will see, look at the IG. The IG is supposed to have by now resigned. They're supposed to have by now, his tenure expired. But because the person that we took over him is an Igbo man, is going to be an Igbo man, Tinubu decided to extend his tenure so that either Igbo man will not have access to that place. By the time this man will serve finish, the Igbo man tenure would have expired. Both of them will go. Igbo man will not have. You see the thing. Then tell me, probably the Igbo man would have been the person that will come there and do well. But because he's an Igbo man, tribalism, he will not be given such opportunity. Then tell me, how will Nigeria, in terms of security, move forward? Look at what happened during Jonathan time. You can confirm the way Ihejirika march on the Boko Harams. And all of them, the whole north, everywhere. During the Jonathan under Ihejirika, did you see Fulani killing, messing up like this? Everywhere was calm because they know that the man matched them. But whereby the undeserved now become the desire. The undeserved now become the desire. So definitely everywhere gonna go jaga jaga zigzag. Things will not be working well. And that is what is affecting our security consciousness in this country.
But do you think that Uzodinma from his out of heart want to put the insecurity in Imo State and in Southeast in general to stop?
Baba, I am not to hope Uzodinma. I'm not in his heart. But based on the previous acts of Hope Uzodinma, I don't see Hope Uzodinma fixing peace in the Southeast or fixing insecurity in the Southeast, because he has lost the momentum, he has lost the dignity, he has lost the integrity, he has lost the immunity, and he has lost the respect and the kudos that the people, even his own family, has for him. He has disappointed everybody. He stands as a betrayer. That is the eyes that every Biafrans are using to behold him.